Hey guys, Sensei Snap here, and today we're going to be doing my sort of 10 tips for any new players coming onto due process. I've been seeing a lot of people do sort of tip videos to help new players, and I just feel like it'd be good to sort of get involved and offer you my sort of top 10 tips from my perspective and what I've learned from playing the game myself. So straight up, the first one on the list is utilize the whole aspect of the training on the game. So even if you're not brand new to the game, I still recommend that you use the training. It's a good sort of starter, and you can practice your aim quite a bit on there as well. But the whole aspect of the training is literally to get you used to the mechanics of the game in terms of breaching, get used to the different types of doors, so you know what door you could breach and shoot through. If you really dive deep into the training, you can get used to the penetration of each weapon as well, because you actually are able to utilize every single weapon in the game from the training. It doesn't matter whether it's a defender weapon or attacker weapon, you can utilize all of them and get used to the recoil patterns, how they fire, how quick you can fire them, and just pretty much getting your accuracy on point. As well as that, there's some extra elements in the training. So going with a shotgun, you can try and breach each door with a shotty. You can practice with a wall charge and a door charge. You've got the vault, so you can just get an idea on how it works. But the vault door is also used for airlocks, so sort of two birds with one stone. On top of that, you have actually got a bomb you can defuse as well. There is some stuff they could add to training to make it a little bit more informative for new players. But overall, as soon as you start up the game, if you're brand new, jump into training, get used to the mechanics of ADSing, the brace fire, hip firing, and getting well known with sort of breaching as well, because a lot of people tend to forget, and don't stand too close when you breach as well, because it can kill you. But it's all covered in training, so straight up load up the game, jump into training, just it's unlimited amount of time, so just spend as much time on it as you want and just get a feel for the game. Moving on, I'd say the sort of next tip would be play due process with the right attitude. Even when you're not brand new to the game, you've got some games underneath your belt, the people's attitudes can sometimes slip. Just remember that there will be times where you will get absolutely dunked on, but there will also be plenty of times where you'll dunk on other people as well and have moments to sort of look back on and put it in flex tapes and so on. So just go in with an open mind and just know that, yeah, there will be moments you want to rage, but there will also be moments where you'll be flexing on other people. Because a lot of people tend to go into the game, see someone on their team who's got 500 games, and they immediately put off because they feel like they're going to get absolutely crushed. That isn't always the case. Everyone is defeatable in due process. And just talk to people and communicate with your team. Doesn't matter how many games you got. If you've got an effective plan and you utilise it very well, you're going to dunk on them. So just go in with a clear mindset and just like, I'm going to enjoy this game. Following that, remember to have a microphone or a headset with you and talk to your team. Even if it's literally one word comms, the whole game is sort of based upon communication and working as a team. That's why it's a 5-man rather than anything less or anything more, because a 5-man squad is pretty much a generic number in most situational games. But yeah, just talk to them, even if it's not tactics. Just get to know people and just chat to the community, because you could always help out. Well, it's not even always. There's always a moment where you can help out a new player. You don't even have to have more games than them. You just might know something a bit better. But yeah, just talk to people. Just what it's there for. Following that, tip number 4, because the tip 2, tip 3, and tip 4 kind of coincide with one another. Don't be afraid of the player numbers. As mentioned, with the right attitude, you will come across a lot of people who have a lot of games underneath their belt. It doesn't mean they're invincible. Yeah, they've got a bit more experience, but it's just practice. That's all it is. And the community is so friendly, so just talk to those people who have like 1k games, 500 games, even like 100 games or less. Just talk to people. Everyone's there to help and everyone wants to grow the game, so just see what happens. And then tip 5, ask for help if you need it. So if you've done training and you're still unsure during a match, just ask. You can do it on voice chat, or you can actually type. And you've got two different text channels. You can do a universal text channel so that everyone in the game can see the message, or you can actually just type to your team by pressing tab, and it will change it to red, which means it's just team chat, so only your team can see what you're typing. In terms of playstyle, this leads on to sort of tip number 6. Play to your strengths. Don't be afraid to try something new, but play to your strengths. So if you've a lot of people have come over from Siege and CSGO, you can actually apply your play style from those games into due process really, really easily. So if you're an aggressive player, you're going to want to utilize, as a defender, Molotovs, the KR, the Nax, pretty much any small caliber weapon, but also like having an Ingmar or a Shotty as well, really allows you to be aggressive. But if you're a very passive player and you like to be defensive, go with more of a long range weapon or hold an angle. Or if you're like myself, you're very universal. You just adapt to the situation and you just go with whatever you fancy, really. But just play to your strengths and use what you're comfortable with using. Because honestly, this game is so fitting for every play style. You will never get a team which is just full on aggressive or just full on defensive. Most players I've come across are very universal, but they have their strengths in attacking or being defensive. So just play where you're comfortable and just let your team know. Just as always, just talk to people. Just talk to people. When picking out your loadouts, remember to take ammo. So what you want to do is grab a weapon, pick up a mag, load it, and then pick up another 2 mags. Don't be afraid to take a full kitted out weapon. With a Shotty, remember to rack the first shell and then just keep picking up shells until you're fully racked. The attacker shotgun has 6 shells in the gun. Defender shotgun, the top has 5, and the super Shorty has 3. But you can carry more than just what's in the gun, obviously. Following that, when you play the game, it's very much loot based as well at the end of the rounds. So don't be afraid to pick up weapons of people. Sorry about that. Yeah, don't be afraid to pick up weapons of dead enemies or your teammates. Just the key thing is going back to about ammo. When you loot a gun, you have to pick up the rounds as well with it. So if someone's died and they've dropped a main weapon or a secondary, it will tend to drop all the ammo with it as well. So say for example, if someone didn't even get a shot off, there'll be a mag in the gun, plus 2 mags if they've taken all the ammo. But just have a look on the floor, and if need be, look at the dead body, spam F, and you'll pretty much grab whatever they've dropped, to be honest. Now, I've chatted to a lot of new players, and a lot of them get shocked when on the last round of attacker or defender, there seems to be a lot of team killing. Just remember, on the last round, when it's the 3rd round and the round has been won, there will probably be a battle royale or a free-for-all with your teammates. So just go on a killing spree, but just make sure it is the last round, because then you won't lose any specific loot or anything like that. Because when it's 3 rounds on casual, or 7, even 3 rounds on ranked, you will swap. So if you start off as a defender, you go to attacker. If you start off as an attacker, you'll go to defender. So yeah, just be aware that there'll probably be a battle royale, people killing teammates and being friendly fire. And if you ever come across my teammate Sinister Life, just kill him first, because he always wins the battle royale. But yeah, that's pretty much the main things I'd say to look out for and do to basically make your experience on due process a fun one and one to sort of learn from. But just like my last tip is pretty much just some minor things to remember. You can breach pretty much every single door with a shotgun as long as you aim at the handle. The only one you can't is red. You have to do that from the inside. If you're clacking, make sure you pretty much click the clacker at least 3 times and stand pretty close to the charge. It has got some decent range, but try not to let the defenders have the clacker, because they can clack you back and blow up your charges. Following that, charges only blow up when they're placed on a door or a wall. Not all walls are breachable, but obviously just communicate with your team, and you'll be able to see on the map pretty clear what walls are breachable and what's not. The door charge is strictly a door charge. If you do use it on a storefront, it will just make a kill hole, or a dock door, it will just make another kill hole. You cannot climb through that hole. So wall charges are the best bet for that one. Be aware of telenades and now Molotovs. So on teller in storefront, there's a tiny little slit underneath the window, which is where they obviously conduct a transaction for buying an item, where the money goes in. People have got enough skill to pretty much throw a nade or a Molotov through it, so just be aware of that. And also don't forget, every window in tellers is bulletproof, so pretty much for them to kill you, they'll have to either telenade you, shoot you through that tiny hole, or breach the door with a shotgun. With tellers in particular as well, it cannot be opened from the outside unless it's with a shotgun. If you're on the inside, you can open it freely or kick it down. Don't be afraid to solo queue. There's always people willing to help, as I've mentioned before, and you'll meet some great people if you solo queue, and everyone's different at the game. And just don't be afraid to try new things. So tip 10's pretty much become a lot of extra tips on top of what I've already said. But yeah, for me, these tips are things which help me adapt to the game and learn it. If you want another tip video, check out my team captain Feed Machine. He's done one for top 5 tips for defense. It's probably going to do one for attackers as well, whereas mine's just more like a universal starter guide, I'd say. I'd appreciate any feedback in the video. If you've got any things I've missed out, please put them in the comment section below. And yeah, I hope to see you all on due process. If you want to do some casuals or team up on some ranks, let me know. Always willing to help people. And yeah, appreciate your time, appreciate you watching the video. Sorry for any background noise. Completely forgot to turn off notification sounds and stuff. But have a great day. I'll see you on the next video. And yeah, remember, always tubby time.